What is up, everyone? This is Warren Howe. Hope you're having a great day as always. Now, today I want to talk about Google, simply because this was one. We did a poll recently. I did a poll on Jeremy's group, Facebook group, and I noticed that Google is actually the most voted stock that we deem is stable and has growth potential. And obviously, those were two of my picks. I picked Google and Tesla, and I'm not mistaken, Tesla is the second best. But my point is, and that's why I'm doing this video on Google. But my point about Google is a few things. Okay, growth potential, financials, and their valuations at the moment. Right. So I'm going to cover these three things real quick. Now, let's talk about growth potential. Recently, as you can see, based on the latest earnings call, they said that advertising grew, traffic grew, their investment Waymo just recently on end 2021 just had another funding round, right? So think about it. What is the potential that a company like Google still has so much runway, and what is the consumption trends moving forward? Now, in my opinion, things are just getting started. Yeah, things are just getting started because and as I shared before, we are in Malaysia, and a suburb area, visiting my in-laws and talking about like way underdeveloped areas. They are all just with the internet. They can consume YouTube and Roblox. That's literally the only thing that they're doing the whole day. Yeah, Roblox, YouTube, gaming, and whatnot. So moving forward, as the boomer age sort of phases out and money is passed on to millennials and whatnot, what are the chances that the consumption trend will continue further, right? Advertising is not going to stop. Companies will still need to advertise. Traffic in Google, which is the number one go-to place to search, literally, when you switch on the computer. YouTube, where it's the future of TV. Right? I don't care what you say. We got YouTubers like myself, small YouTuber, and other YouTubers. And that's where people can consume content where the attention span is actually getting less, not just watching 1 hour, 2 hour documentaries, but 15 minutes and little bits of info content. What is the future of that? So Google is actually just getting started in terms, and the core is safe. Right, so let's talk about Waymo a little bit. Recently, they got I think a 3.5 billion funding round and 3.5 billion injection, and I think at 30B valuation, something like that. But their progress has been long. But what is the chances? What's the possibilities that they can actually have a good revenue contribution? Right. So this is actually so this is the statement of income. And they have been growing revenues like crazy, right? So 2021 full year, 251B in revenues, 257B. What are the chances that Waymo in the future can actually contribute maybe even 30% of that amount, right? So we got Tesla grow. Obviously, they can't be the next Tesla, but not yet, at least. But my point is, Tesla is actually going to be a 70B revenue company. Google's at 257B. What can Waymo do, and what is the product market fit that they're going to be, having in the future, right? So there's a lot of, and think about it, with the cash that they have, with the assets that they have, they can potentially acquire these sort of companies that have that will fit within their ecosystem. So Google has been strategic in many ways, qualitative wise. And so we talked about the future growth potential, which in my opinion is still as sexy and something to think about. We got SoFi, we got Tattooed Chef, we have growth companies lower down the S curve, and they have 40%, 60% revenue growth. Google, a $2 trillion company, 1.7 trillion today, has a revenue growth of 40%. See how crazy that is? So what is the question is, can they repeat that in 2022, having that increase? Yeah, can they do that? What did management say? And this is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. So we talked about growth potential, we talked about financials a little bit. So let's talk about financials. Their cash in the bank is, 138 billion. Very strong, 139. Total assets 359, nothing. Goodwill is at 22. Okay, 97 PPE. So the PPE is actually quite high. But okay, current liability is 107. Current is at 64. Total long term is 107. So it's really strong balance sheet. Really strong balance sheet. Totally, like, practically no debt. They have no long term debt at all. 14B versus how much they have is nothing. So very little debt. You got revenues growing 40%. Costing expenses growing a little bit. Income before income taxes. Okay, so net income is at 76p, which puts them at 30%. So we got 76 divided by 257. 29%, 29.5. Yep. So this is where things meet. Comprehensive income. Okay, so let's look at the balance sheets a little bit. We have a operating cash flow of 91 billion. Minus PPE, that means free cash flows is 60, 70-ish. Yep, 70B. Very strong. So this is a no-brainer. I mean, we have strong financials, obviously. There's a growth story. And the reason why I'm considering to buy more today is because of the PE ratios. Now, PE ratio is actually low as March 2020 levels. Yep, March 2020, where that was the huge liquidation came off. So the stock prices are going up, which that I don't look at because I look at valuation, I look at their earnings potential. Is it a no-brainer to be going into the stable growth company today? Yeah, so this is something to think about. Hope you guys got some value out of this. And people talk about hedging. Might as well hedge on the big boys where, we want to be just dollar cost averaging over the long run. And if the growth potential plays out and their revenue growth continues to grow 40%, which I think is difficult, but it's doable. Why not? Right? Why not? So this is something to think about. Hope you guys got some value, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.